And welcome to the news on VOP TV. I am Chisom Einaya. The Niger State Council of Imams has given the Minister of Women Affairs, Uju Kennedy Ohaneye, a one-week ultimatum to retract our comments about the Niger State Speaker, Abdulmalik Sakindaji, and his plan to sponsor the weddings of 100 orphans girls. The minister had criticized the speaker's initiative during a press conference and obtained a court injunction to halt the weddings. The secretary of the Imam Council, Umar Abdullahi, announced the ultimatum at a press conference on Wednesday, warning that the minister's comments could incite a crisis. Abdullahi emphasized that the Imams would not tolerate interference in religious and cultural matters and insisted that the weddings scheduled for the 24th of this month would proceed as planned with the backings of religious and traditional leaders. The Imam urged the minister to focus on her official duties and threatened unified action from Imams across the country and state if she did not withdraw her comments. They also called on other individuals to emulate the speaker's charitable gesture. Despite the minister's court action, Speaker Sakindaji stated on Tuesday that he was pulling out of the arrangement, describing his initiative as purely humanitarian and not a violation of the Child Rights Act. Today marks the annual observation of International Day of Living in Peace, a day dedicated to promoting the ideal of peace, harmony, and coexistence among people worldwide. On this day, communities, organizations, and individuals come together to reflect on the challenges of peace and to reaffirm their commitment to fostering peaceful relations. VOP TV Matthew Ogunswada gives more insight on the significance of this day.
Today is the International Day of Living in Peace, and this memorable day is celebrated annually on May 16th. Today, people from all walks of life come together to commemorate these faiths and advocate for peace on a global scale. The International Day of Peace was established in 1981 by the United Nations General Assembly. 2 decades later, in 2001, the General Assembly unanimously voted to designate this day as a period of non-violence and ceasefire. The day aims to uphold the desire to live and act together, united in differences and diversity, to build a sustainable world of peace, solidarity, and harmony. Mr. Peter Anosike is a development economist, trainer, and author. He speaks on the significance of this day with the 2024 theme, Action for Peace, Our Ambition for Global Goals.
Peace is the bedrock, is the foundation of human existence. We cannot live without peace, so it is very, very important. It means a lot to me and every right-thinking person. Peace is what is sustaining life on earth. Without peace, there will be war everywhere. But we should learn that peace from our homes. Understand? Parents have a lot to do. When you bring up children in the right way, in a loving way, when you grow up in a loving family, understand? You will take that to the society. But when you come from a broken home, a home where there's no love and peace, we cannot give what we don't have. So peace should start from our individual homes, then to the church, and so on, to the church and mosque, and so on and so forth.
While we celebrate this day, it is essential to recognize that the quest for peace knows no borders. Across the globe, individuals and nations are striving for peaceful resolutions to conflict and fostering dialogue and understanding among diverse communities. Individuals and organizations are joining hands to promote peace, tolerance, and understanding. From peaceful protests to counter-terrorism, banditry, and war, the spirit of unity and harmony is important for the growth of any nation.
Where there's partiality, where there's discrimination, understand me, there can never be peace there. Because Palestinians believe that they have the right to live. Ukraine feel that that Russia is invading their territory. Taiwan has that same thing. So the main cause of tension everywhere is injustice. The greatest achievement anybody can make in the world is not the money that he made, or the cars that he bought, or the houses that he built, or the food that he ate, but the service he rendered to his fellow man. When you begin to say we instead of I, when you know that your dream will only come true when you make the dream of other people that will come true, and that you cannot survive on your own.
Reverend Matthew Kuka, the Bishop of Sokoto Catholic Diocese and founder of Kuka Center, visited President Bola Tinubu at the State House in Abuja on Wednesday. Addressing State House correspondents, Bishop Kuka emphasized that 1 year is insufficient to judge President Tinubu's administration. Bishop Kuka noted that while the administration is tackling numerous challenges, Nigerians need to clarify on when they can expect significant improvements. He stressed the importance of the government effectively communicating its plans and timeliness to address the current socio-economic issues causing widespread pain among citizens. Kuka reinstated that ensuring better living conditions and security is the government's primary responsibilities. Regarding the situation in Rivers State, Bishop Kuka expressed confidence that Governor Fubara and former Governor Wike would resolve their issues. He reassured that despite public concern, politics and politicians have the means to settle their dispute. Kuka, who has long-standing ties with Rivers State, remains hopeful that the state will soon overcome its challenges and continue to play a vital role in Nigeria. The federal government is set to tackle the power challenges in Nigeria with an additional 500 million standard cubic feet of gas in the domestic market. The government said it would also enhance industrialization and create more jobs with more gas supply into the nation's economy. President Bola Tinubu disclosed this while inaugurating 3 critical gas infrastructure projects executed by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Seplant Energy, and other partners in Hajj, Igbema in Imo State, and Kwale in Delta State. The president launched the expansion of the AHL gas processing plant, the ANOH gas processing plant, and the 23.3 kilometers ANOH to Obiafu Urban Custody Transfer Metering Station gas pipeline project. Tinubu said approximately 500 mmscf of gas is aggregate would be supplied to the domestic market from these 2 gas processing plants, which represent over 25% incremental growth in gas supply. In practical terms, this translates into more gas for the power sector. In a plea to organize labor, the federal government called for caution in order not to impede its transformation plan for the power sector. Minister of Power Adebayo Adeleabo made the appeal while addressing State House correspondents in Abuja after the Federal Executive Council meeting chaired by President Bola Tinubu, when he assured Labour that their demands would be presented during a nationwide protest against new electricity tariff on Monday are under consideration. VOP TV Matthew Ogunswada tells us more in this report.
Monday, 12th May 2024, leaders of the Nigerian Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress led a peaceful protest across the country, demanding the reversal of recent increase in electricity tariff. They all stormed the offices of Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, NEC, and power distribution companies, DISCOs, saying that they are against the new electricity tariff across the country.
Are showing our displeasure not on our own behalf but on behalf of all Nigerians to condemn these insensitive policies of the government of today as they have increased the tariff on electricity.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, after the Federal Executive Council meeting, assured the organized labor that their grievances were not falling on deaf ears. He emphasized that the government is open to engaging further with them, highlighting the administration's commitment to being responsive to the needs of the people. The minister further reiterated the government's commitment to democracy and respect for citizens' rights, noting that peaceful protests are legitimate forms of expression and that the government is willing to engage with the NLC and TUC to address their concerns. Now, let's hear the people's reaction towards Minister Adelabu's statement and the ongoing dialogue between the government and Labour.
Every citizen of Nigeria has a right to protest when an unfavorable condition arises. The ministers just go and work on the power sector. You should forget about people who want to protest. They have a right to protest. Let them protest.
We don't have electricity, no lights. It's always a week now. We don't have lights in our side. People are suffering. Both of everybody in this Nigeria, we are suffering so much. No lights, no food, nothing. So let's go on with their process.
We want government to spend money for all what is good. What is good is that, see the major road, the federal road, they're supposed to give us a good road and give us a light. We don't have lights.
From the streets of Lagos, these are just a few of the reactions of the public regards the ongoing discussion between the government and organized labor. It is clear that the issue of electricity tariff has deeply resonated with the public, and they will keep watching to see how it unfolds within the next few weeks. Matthew Ogunswada for Voice of the People TV.
The federal government is working to reconstitute the Governing Council of Universities, says the National University Commission, NUC. The NUC Acting Executive Secretary, Chris Mayaki, reacted to a strike threat issued by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, over the alleged recalculation of the federal government to reconstitute the council. Mayaki confirmed that the Minister of Education, Professor Tahi Maman, has put in place a panel to work on the list. The councils will be inaugurated once the list is consummated. Mayaki appealed to the leadership of ASU to be patient with the government during this period, stating that reconstituting the councils of 61 universities is not a small feat. The NUC is committed to expanding access to higher education, citing the need for more universities to meet the demand for quality education in the country. Meanwhile, ASU has threatened to embark on another strike over President Bola Tinubu's economic policies, giving a 2-week ultimatum to address all outstanding demands, including the delay in constituting the governing councils of universities. The Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress have rejected the federal government's proposal of 48,000 naira as the new national minimum wage, describing it as an insult to the sensibilities of Nigerian workers. The union had demanded a minimum wage of 615,000 naira, citing the current economic situation and the needs for an average Nigerian family of 6. The federal government's proposal was seen as a reduction in income for federal-level workers who are already receiving 30,000 naira as mandated by law, augmented by Buhari's 40% peculiar allowance, 12,000 naira, and the 35,000 naira wage award, totaling 77,000 naira only. The Labour leader walked out of the negotiation, citing the government's lack of seriousness in engaging in fair negotiation with Nigerian workers. The organized private sector had proposed an initial offer of 54,000 naira, which was still seen as inadequate by the Labour Union. The Labour unions have called on the federal government to reconsider its position and come to the negotiation table with clear hands that reflect the true value of the contributions made by Nigerian workers to the nation's development and objective socio-economic realities that confront not just Nigerian workers, but Nigerians today as a result of the policies of the federal government. Vice President Kashim Shettima on Wednesday revealed that President Bola Tinubu's administration had subsidized the cost of the 2024 Hajj pilgrimage with 90 billion naira. Mr. Shettima made this known at the inauguration of the 2024 National Hajj operation held at the Sir Ahmed Bello International Airport, Kebbi State. He recalled that there was a major challenge in announcing the final Hajj fare for the 2024 Muslim event due to the fluctuation in foreign exchange rates, and reinstated the federal government of renewed hope led by President Tinubu attaches immense importance to religious events due to its role in transforming the behavioral and social vices of the believers beyond performing the pilgrimage. Due to these high regards, he said the government took time to carefully select men of integrity with administrative acumen and records of selfless dedication to manage the affairs of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria in the interest of Nigerian pilgrim. Mr. Shettima urged the pilgrims not to relent in praying for the success of the Tinubu's administration, peace and progress of the country that Nigerians are proud to call their motherland. He thanked the Tinubu-led federal government for its efforts to ensure that the 2024 Hajj takes place. Justice Peter Lefu of the Federal High Court in Abuja is set to deliver judgment on June 27 in a suit filed by the family of the late head of state, General Sani Abacha. The family is challenging the revocation of Abacha's property in the Maitama district of Abuja. The defendants include the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, the Federal Capital Development Authority, the President of Nigeria, and Salamed Ventures Limited. The Abacha family, represented by Miriam Abacha and Mohammed Sani Abacha, asked the court to nullify the purported revocation of the certificate of occupancy of the property of the late General Sani Abacha located in Maitama district. You're watching the news on VOP TV. More stories coming to you right after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Labour Party's national chairman, Julius Abure, has urged the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Joe Ajaero, to reconcile their differences and collaborate with the party's leadership. Abure made this appeal during his first press conference since the April 3rd fire incident at his Abuja residence, which nearly took his life. The rift between Abure and Ajaero stemmed from the Congress' repeated efforts to gain control of the party structure, alleging that Abure was running a solo operation amid accusation of financial impropriation. In response, the LP faction accused Ajaero of attempting to out the Abure-led National Working Committee, purportedly with intention to exploit the party for personal gains in the run-up to 2027 election. Speaking at the party's headquarters in Abuja, Abure referred to Ajaero as a long-time ally, emphasizing their shared history of advocating for workers' rights. He appealed to Ajaero to set aside grievances and join forces in rebuilding the nation for the betterment of all Nigerians. Still in politics, Jimoh Ibrahim, senator representing Ondo South, has been suspended by the All Progressive Congress in Igbotako Ward 2, local government area of Ondo State. The senator was alleged to have involved in anti-party activity. This was contained in a statement signed today by 29 executive members of the party, including the chairman and secretary in the ward, Adetokunbo, Adetola, and Shola Omotoye, respectively. The ESCOs, in a statement titled APC Suspends Senator Jimoh Ibrahim Folorunsho over insubordination and anti-party activities, said the decision was taken during the meeting of the executive. You may recall that Senator Ibrahim earlier challenged the outcome of the April 20 primary of the APC, won by Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa. The federal government has called on tax practitioners to intensify their efforts in increasing tax revenue, highlighting it as the primary source of income for the nation. These appeals were made by the Accountant General of the Federation, Oluwatoyin Madeyin, at the 26th Annual Tax Conference of the Chartered Institution of Taxation of Nigeria in Abuja. VOP TV Oyindamola Olukutan has the rest of the story.
Despite the current economic hardship, the federal government has called on tax practitioners to intensify their efforts in increasing tax revenue, highlighting it as the primary source of income for the nation. This appeal was made by the Accountant General of the Federation, Dr. Mrs. Oluwatoyin Madeyin, at the 26th Annual Tax Conference of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria in Abuja. She highlighted the importance of sustainable tax culture to ensure continuous revenue flow. She noted the Federation Account Allocation Committee relies heavily on monthly figures from the Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS), which recently exceeded its 2023 revenue target by 816 billion naira, collecting 12.37 trillion naira. As Voice of the People TV, we are on the streets to hear the opinion of the citizens as regarding the situation.
Forcing tax is not really the right thing. There are several other means we can use. There are several other things we can do. And even if you want to use tax, at least the rate should be very, very low. Because 50% of Nigerians are earning even below what you don't, like what you can't even think of. And some are not even employed. And the ones that are employed are earning, at least I know some people that are earning still 30,000, 40,000 in this same economy, and they are graduates. So it's as bad as that. So government should just please look at other means of making the economy go, like subsidize the necessary things and let the ones that are okay just stand alone.
Everything we do, people will pay tax. So I believe that tax is where they are generating their revenue from, but at the same time it is affecting the masses. Because imagine someone who goes out every day for business, but you go out for business and you return with very little, and still you expect them to pay tax. How do you expect them to survive? So it's actually not worth it. If the economy were booming, then fine. If you say we should pay tax, no problem. But the economy is stagnant, the economy is not moving forward, and you're expecting us to pay tax. Where do we get the money from to pay the tax when the economy is not moving, businesses are not moving forward? There's increments in everything, commodities, goods, so there's no way we can pay tax without a good economy.
APC government, immediately they entered, they remove fuel subsidy. If you look at the country now, everything is hard. Everything is hard for the masses. Look at the price of garina, rice, everything is on the high side. We've never been in this kind of economy before. So we don't know where we are going. So all those FRS, they are saying they are giving loans. I'm not even aware. I don't know. That's not the way to help the masses.
Now in business, still the Nigerian naira continues to its downward spiral, depreciating to a record low of 1,530 naira per dollar in the official market on Wednesday. This marks a significant decline from the previous day rate of 1,525 naira per dollar. The parallel market, where individuals and businesses exchange currency outside of the official channels also saw a decline, with the naira trading at 1,530 naira per dollar. This widening gap between the official and parallel market rates has sparked concerns about the naira's stability and the impact on the country's economy. In contrast, the Nigerian autonomous foreign exchange market saw a slight appreciation, with the naira trading at 1,459 naira per dollar. However, this has done little to alleviate concerns about the currency's overall decline. The naira struggle have been ongoing for several weeks, with the currency experiencing its weakest point in over 6 weeks. This has led to increased pressure on the Central Bank of Nigeria to implement measures to stabilize the currency and address the country's economic challenges. The decline of the naira has far-reaching implications for the country's economy, including increased inflation, reduced purchasing power, and decreased investor confidence. As such, the CBN and other economic stakeholders are under pressure to find a solution to the naira's woe and restore stability to the economy. Away from business to the world of sports, Bafana of South Africa head coach Hugo Broos has named a 36-member preliminary squad for next month's 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier against Nigeria's Super Eagles and Zimbabwe. Among the notable names listed in the preliminary squad are Temba Zwane, Percy Tau, Rowan Williams, Evidence Makopa, and Mokoano. The South Africans will be guests of the Super Eagles in Uyo on Friday, 7 June 2024. The 1996 AFCON champions will then return to host Zimbabwe at the Free State Stadium in Bafana on Tuesday, 11 June 2024. The final 23-member squad will be announced in the next few days. At the AFCON 2023 AFCON, the Eagles edged Bafana on penalties after 120 minutes of football ended 1-1. While South Africa occupies second place on 3 points, the Eagles are third on 2 points. And that's it on the news on VOP TV. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms at VOP TV Live, and follow us and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Voice of the People TV. I'm Chisom Einaya. Bye for now.